I did a video yesterday on how I set up my mixing board because there were some questions that people were asking me. And I showed them the 0 dB rule, which is what I follow to try to get the cleanest signal possible out of my mixing board, which sends the cleanest signal to my speakers, achieving the best sound that I can get out of my system. A lot of questions came up, a lot of people had some concerns, so I'm going to do a more in-depth video today to try to help you out. Now the first thing I'm going to do is on my master volume, I'm going to set it to 8 or 3 o'clock on the dial, and I'm not going to touch it. Now let's put a track on. Now I'm going to put a record on, but this could be anything. This could be an MP3, a music video, a CD, it doesn't matter. And notice right here, these lights jumping up and down, these are called pre-fade level meters. They're into the red. I'm going to go ahead and bring my line fader up, and you're going to see what this sounds like. Now that sound is distorted. So what I want to do is bring my trim or gain down until I'm only filling the green. None of the amber, definitely not the red. And when I do just the green, it's hitting 0 dB on the meter. Now let's bring the line fader all the way up and see what happens. You'll notice that although we're hitting 0 dB here, we're going into plus 3 dB on our main level. So the way we make that go to 0 dB as well is we bring this down to 8. And now it's nice and level. Now some people have argued that, well, all you have to do is adjust your master to hit 0 dB and everything's fine. Let me show you why that's problematic. Let's go ahead and bring this back up where it was, where we're going into the red. And bring our fader all the way up. We'll bring our master down until we're just hitting 0 dB here. It's absolutely true that our output is 0 dB on our mixing board, but the problem is the signal we're sending to our master from our line is still distorted because we're way up here. So for that reason, we got to bring this down here. And then bring our master up to 8. Bring our line level down to 8. And we've got 0 dB all the way across. Let's go ahead and throw another track on. Forgive me, I'm walking around a tripod to do this. Alright, now let's bring a crossfader over. Back on the trim and gain, you come down here. Zero dB. Now if I would have done this, like before I brought the crossfader over to hit 0 dB, check this out. If I bring this down to 8, and bring my crossfader over, it's nice and even, right? We're jumping up a little bit because I've got to constantly adjust this trim for the track volume. That's just what you got to do as a sound engineer. Now we'll go back. A little louder now, we got to bring that down. A little louder here, we got to bring that down. Nice and even. Now let's do something else. Let's bring the volume down. And this is what you use to adjust your volume. Once you get everything set up, 0 dB, 8, this is what you use to adjust your volume, is your line fader. Going no further up than 8. Because again, if you go further up than 8, you blow into plus 3 dB on your master. Let's put another track on over here. Just a different record. But again, it could be a different MP3, a different music video, a different CD, it doesn't matter. I haven't touched the trim. Let's put the record on. Now look what's going on here. We're only hitting like minus 5 dB. We gotta adjust our trim again. For every track we put on, we have to readjust our trim because it's gonna be different every single time. Go to 8. Bring the fader over. Whoops. See, we jumped up. We got to constantly stay on that. It's like the loudest point of the song is going to determine where the highest point of this meter goes. Now, something else I want to point out is that my EQs are flat. That's how most people do it. I do it a little different, but that's a different video. This is actually the preferred method. A flat EQ, meaning they're all facing straight up at 12 o'clock. Now I want to stress this. This is any mixing board. This is any MIDI controller for DJs. It's going to be the same principle. If you have a different set of lights on your mixing board or your MIDI controller, maybe you only have one set, there is a way to toggle it where you can either go line or master, and I'll show you how to do that in another video. Now there are some DJs out there who like to do this kind of stuff. But notice when you do that, you go +3 because you're hitting 10, even if you're hitting 0 dB on your pre-fade level. Here's a way you can still achieve 0 dB and throw your faders up and down as hard as you want, I guess. Take a piece of tape and lay it right across your faders here, line it up at 8. I'm going to do it close enough here because, as you know, I'm a one-handed DJ. I'm doing my best. That's 8 o'clock right there. Well, not 8 o'clock, but 8 rather. Okay, if I laid that all the way across, I'll line it right up with 8. I should still be able to do this. And hit 0 dB here on my master as well. I used to see people put screws in here back in the old days of scratching on the old mixers. They literally just stick something there to be a break. But the tape method isn't bad. So I hope this video helped somebody. The last thing I want to show you is this. Okay, I'm going to put another record on. And I want to show you one more thing that I showed in the last video. You do get a +3 dB gain when you're running both records at the same time. Let's jump it up a little bit. Although these are hitting 0 or less than 0, sometimes that ends up jumping up beyond. That's going to happen when you're in the mix, but it's negligible. A +3 dB on something like that is not a big deal. It's not going to affect you too much. I wouldn't worry too much about it, but you do get that +3 dB gain when you're playing 2 tracks at the same time, even if the lines are at 0 dB. Well, there you go. I hope this video helped somebody. I hope I answered some of your questions. If you have more, please feel free to ask. If you have a different method and you don't like my method, that's okay. We're still friends. I just want to show you how I do it and how you can achieve the cleanest output possible from your mixer, getting the best sound out of your system. Thanks for watching, practice, and enjoy.